So I realized I haven't made a Necromancer blood build video for a while, and I have a serious reason to, because blood builds are good speed farmers, fast XP grinders, and also pretty good boss killers. Hi everyone, this is Zeiss here, and if you don't know who I am, I play only hardcore, mostly necromancers, all kinds of builds. I destroyed the game completely, and I already have a platinum trophy on PlayStation for this game, and almost 100%ed the game on Xbox as well. So I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. Back when the game was initially released, I remember many were playing mostly Bone Spear. That's fine, because Bone Spear is a skill everyone is already familiar with from other Diablo games. At the same time, I remember I was playing also blood builds, right? If you remember that video I made months and months ago, maybe over half a year already, where I started with Blood Surge and I went straight to the dry steppes to fight enemies 15 and more levels higher than me. And I leveled up pretty quickly. I got lots of golden oboes, and I also got pretty good items very early on. Literally minutes after I started playing. So where I'm going with this? Today I want to show you one of my characters here, which is of course level 100. It's an alt, so it doesn't have everything completed, but let's see the point I'm trying to make here. So let's talk skills. I'm using Hemorrhage here with Enhanced Hemorrhage and Initiate Hemorrhage. Why I'm using this? Hemorrhage can fortify us really quickly, can also provide blood orbs, which are really important to increase our damage with Blood Surge and Blood Lance. I'll get into Blood Lance in a bit, but first let's go over the Blood Surge. When leveling, you also need Blood Surge, Enhanced Blood Surge, and Supernatural Blood Surge. But later on, when you manage to also get Ratma's Vigor, which is here, then you can switch to Paranormal Blood Surge. This one is a bit more powerful early on because it also fortifies and helps with damage reduction and defenses in general, right? When you still don't have many sources to fortify. Then I went with Hued Flesh and Corpse Explosion. I'm also using the Grim Harvest and Fueled by Death Notes. I'm also obviously using Death's Embrace, Iron Maiden with Abhorrent Iron Maiden, and Amplified Damage. So Amplified Damage definitely goes after Death's Embrace, and then I get the Fueled by Death in this priority. So first this, then this, then this. And on the way, I also get Corpse Tendrils with Blighted Corpse Tendrils to keep pumping more blood orbs. Blood Surge is very essence hungry, so I would prefer to keep Grim Harvest here instead of Transfusion. Now I have 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, and 3 points of Tides of Blood, and Coalesced Blood, which are the most important nodes here. Coalesced Blood, namely. And I also have here Blood Wave, because I don't really have any crowd control other than Corpse Tendrils. But feel free to use Bone Storm if your crit chance is low, and to further improve the defenses, which is also very good with Reap and Acolyte's Reap, because it forms corpses, it provides attack speed, and it also provides damage reduction. Very useful things early on. And I guess that's pretty much it. Here's also the Inspiring Leader, Standalone, and Memento Mori. This is really good here because we are not using medians, which also happen to include Bomb Prison. Let's move on to the Book of the Dead. I sacrificed here the Warrior Skirmishers to increase the critical strike chance. Really useful for this build because critical strike chance combines itself really well with overpower. Especially having in mind you have guaranteed overpower, you will probably see a lot of orange text, damage text, which means overpower and critical strike combined. The other thing that I sacrificed here is the Bone Skeletal Mages to get more overpower. This is quite the increase, so it's a must. Here I increase my critical strike damage with sacrificing the Iron Golem. Early on, if you're too powerful, which is quite normal for a blood build, you can also use the Blood Golem, to sacrifice it to further increase your health. Now let's move on to the Paragon board. I modified this one a bit, but I will link in the description a link to the build where I think that's like the most optimal. You can easily go for this node here, right? Resilience. It's more important early on, not really in the end game materials speed farming. I have here Amplify, but initially it's a good idea to use Blood Drinker. Right, let me find it. So there it is, Blood Drinker. Because we'll need more sources of Fortify, right? You can also use Sacrificial here instead, because it's permanent damage increase and it's not that conditional like Amplify, for example. Let me find it. There it is. Same bonus to nodes and higher damage increase. It's pretty much the same damage increase as Amplify, but it's not conditional. You don't have to curse enemies first. Anyway, let's move on. On the second board here, I chose Blood Begets Blood. And I have here the Dominate glyph. It's pretty much minimal now, but I don't really need that much damage to speed farm materials and fight enemies in the open world. You even need less than 200,000 damage in order to do fast clear. The obvious notes taken here: aggression, right? Invigorated, and this really useful thing here, Blood Begets Blood. I have also taken here the Blood Empowered and some overpowered damage. The next board that I have here is really a must get to, a second, Scent of Death. And you can see here I also have some conditional stuff which could also be removed for permanent damage increase or whatever else you need, right? Like I did just now. Critical strike is conditional, so it's not really the priority here. We have guaranteed overpower. It's really amazing when both of these happen at once, but you know, conditional is conditional. So you can get your shadow resistance as well on this board, and the other useful thing you get here is lots of armor with the corporeal glyph. The requirement is really easy to meet here because it's an intelligent glyph, and here are the good armor nodes, right? Next, I went up here to the bloodbath, right? Bloodbath. Really important to get it next because the bonuses from these nodes would have lower requirements, and they are really important because they will drastically increase our damage. Here I have Exhumation, but if you already have good Fortify or if you want to keep it up all the time, It's a good idea to use exclamation, of course. You can also use sacrificial here, something which increases the damage, all the damage, not just corpse damage. But I use it because it provides damage reduction and it helps me fortify. This way, I don't have to rely on the vampiric power, Sanguine Brace, to fortify, or on Lucky Hit to fortify with my own blood skills, right? Thick Height here, the obvious, and also the legendary power to increase our damage. On the way here, more damage, 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 conditional damage. Right. And the last board that I got is with Essence, and it is the Flesh Eater. The really important thing here is that it's providing lots of damage, which is easily obtained by just a few nodes of dexterity. It provides resistances. It drastically increases damage with consuming corpses, and we can also get additional armor and poison resistance here. That's pretty much about the Paragon board. That's pretty much everything. You can make slight modifications, but along the way, you can reduce something which you can get from the items. That should be quite obvious. The Paragon board is very good for further improving anything on the character alongside item affixes, right? Which we're going to get to right now. Let's check out some gear. On the helmet, I have the disobedience aspect with two really important things here: total armor and maximum life. The rest can be anything else that you need, and I picked up maximum essence and ranks to the Iron Maiden curse. You can go here with anything else, like a resistance that you need, or a damage when you pick up blood orbs, or barrier generation, or some core stats like intelligence, dexterity, or all stats. Anything goes. But the important thing is total armor and maximum life, right? Here I have Soulbrand because it really, really helps with me using the pants Temerity here. And I combine Temerity and Soulbrand with Undying, because this way I'm not losing the movement speed from the aspect of Slaughter on my boots. So Soulbrand and Temerity and Undying, right? Let's get to the gloves. This is a drop only aspect, really powerful one, which no blood build can go without. Especially with Temerity and Soulbrand and Undying in mind, which can get our overpowered damage really high. So we have here, the important thing is plus 2 points to the core skill, in this case Blood Surge. Lucky hit to restore resource, because Blood Surge and core skills in general are pretty essence hungry, right? Resource hungry. And we have here critical strike chance, which is the other important thing. And the thing about the last affix, it can be overpowered damage, attack speed, or lucky hit chance, depending on what you need, right? The boots here, the thing that I like the most is the implicit modifier maximum evade charges. And then we move on to the must-have aspect of Slaughter. And alright, movement speed, that's great. Dodge chance, really overlooked affix, which is very important, especially for this build, because it's not using a shield, right? Which I will get into in a moment. Essence cost reduction, a must-have. And the last thing could be anything that you actually need. Either being one of the resistances you can't afford to put on your rings, or moral stats, or dodge chance against distant enemies, or anything goes, anything that you think you will need. But here I have cold resistance, and I have the other resistances on my jewelry, right? The weapon, really important, is to use either dagger or a wand because we'll be out of affix slots, right? Aspect affix slots. So the important thing on any weapon is core skill damage and all stats, probably main stat and the damage type you're dealing, which here is critical strike damage and overpower damage. That's pretty much the best in slot weapon for any build, probably. I mean, yeah, with the all stat, core skill, and the damage type you're dealing, and with the aspect for your core skill. Let's move on to the focus here. It really helps with the O-stat and intelligence because we don't have intelligence on the main weapon. But the important thing here is lucky hit chance to restore resource if you don't have it on the gloves, but you can have it on both. It makes it even better. And also essence cost reduction and no stats. Instead of intelligence, you can also get damage reduction while fortified. Could be really good here, or damage after picking blood orb. Also good. I have here the corpse tendrils aspect of grasping veins, which really increases the critical strike chance and the damage quite a lot. And here I have, of course, the blood bath, right? It's for the core skill blood surge. Okay, let's move on to the amulet. My amulet is not really good, but I keep it for the movement speed, essence cost reduction. And here we can get total armor instead of damage reduction to make it better. And probably also coalesced blood instead of tides of blood, which can make it a really good amulet. I have here the Embaumer aspect, which can really help in supporting our core skill, which I will get additionally to in a moment. As a ring, I have the must-have ring for pretty much any Necromancer build. It's the Sacrilegious Soul. And it's not really the best roll, but it does what it says, and it does it pretty well. And here I have the Mother's Embrace. It's a really good ring for Blood Surge because it helps with the resource, provides all stats for easily getting the additional bonuses from the Paragon board rare notes. A critical strike damage, which drastically increases our damage conditionally. Lucky hit chance, really important to keep pumping those blood orbs, right? And restoring resource. And life, which we can't go without, anyway. So, vampiric powers. I'm using the Undying Vampiric power to additionally pump health and increase my damage with the Untimely Death here. And this also helps our temerity to keep the barrier constantly up. Very useful. I'm using Metamorphosis, and this allows me to not waste a skill slot for the skill that I don't really like, which is called Blood Mist, right? We can become unstoppable by just evading. It's a really good addition to any Necromancer build or any build whatsoever, right? And the other thing I have here is Ravenous, which increases the attack speed based on movement speed. The next power here is Blood Boil, because we're overpowering a lot. This also helps us overpowering additionally. We have couple of sources to get guaranteed overpower and to deliver additional damage. I'm also using Chemomancy. I would like to talk a bit more about seasonal buffs and powers now, because they seem to complement any build and can change the gameplay completely. So what I will be looking for in Season 3 for this kind of build, which is, as you probably understand, a really good season starter, I would probably be looking for something which grants me the unstoppable status, and something which helps with the faster clear, like in this case Hemomancy, for example, and also Metamorphosis. Like it improves defenses, this improves offenses. So I hope that the developers of the game could include something which grants the unstoppable status and something as well which can help with the clear. So we don't have to waste. It's literally waste a skill slot to use Blood Mist. And let's see how we can convert this build to a bosser build really quickly. It's so easy as just swapping a couple of items and respeccing a few skills, because the Book of the Dead and the Paragon remain absolutely the same. Trust me, it's that easy. So I have here gore kills imprinted on this amazing weapon, which provides lucky hit chance as an implicit modifier, and it will help pumping more blood orbs. We have all stats, really important to get those bonuses from the Paragon board rare notes. The damage type that I'm dealing, critical and overpower, and the core skill damage. Not so bad, huh? On the gloves here that I prepared, I have critical strike chance, overpower damage, lucky hit up to X percent chance to restore resource, and of course the core skill with the same aspect I'm currently using on the speed farming build. Right? You can see it's untimely death. Very same aspect. And here's a ring I swap with Mother's Embrace. I swap Mother's Embrace with this one. The important thing here, it has Edge Master. You can use any aspect which increases single target damage or damage in general. The important thing here is maximum life, and the rest of the affixes could be maximum essence, critical strike damage or chance, lucky hit chance, physical damage, overpower damage, and you get the idea. That pretty much covers the gear for the bossing version. And let's see. Now, Book of the Dead remains the same. Like I said, Paragon board remains absolutely the same. But the skills, we are respecting here the Blood Surge and placing all points to Blood Lance and also Supernatural Blood Lance. We are also respecting 2 points from Grim Harvest and placing them on Transfusion. We are respecting Death's Embrace and placing them on Death Reach, and everything else is the same. We swap those 3 items, and now we have a boss killer. Without having to play a separate character, without having to level it to level 100, without having to log out and waste so much time. By just swapping those skills, already I have this amazing boss killer which can deliver millions of damage to a single target. And it's the same build, and I did it in seconds. This is the second thing that I like about this build. Not only that it's good for season starting to level up fast and to gather materials fast, and it can also be obviously converted to a boss killer in just seconds. As easy as you saw me do it. I'll put out some demos in the next scenes so you can see that this thing actually works. Never mind. Not so bad. Did I change that? Yeah, okay. Not that bad. way better than the Surge. So there you have it, your best season starter. Well, it's not as bad as I thought.
I need more essence. I'm low on essence.
This one doesn't even have the um, what was it called? The Nubli. So it works here.
I need more time.
And the packs of mobs around the event, there's usually good amount of them.
I need time to do that.
Alright guys, so what we have here is a good blood build, which is a good season starter, fast farmer for boss materials or whatever else you need, and we also have a really easy convertible boss killer. So that's the build I usually start with the new season. It must make more sense now onto why. If you have any questions about this build idea, you can let me know in the comments below, or if you just want to say hi or whatever. If you enjoyed what you saw, you can give me a like, a sub, or whatever the platform you're watching on is providing you with. I appreciate your time, probably spent, not wasted, on watching this video, and would like to thank you for this. And I'm gonna see you guys on my next live stream or video. Take care.